Okay. Holy shit. Ah. Oh my god. Ah. New computer. The more you know. This computer has a button that turns the microphone off and doesn't give you any indication that that button has been pressed. Awesome. Anyway, now that I've combated this laptop stupidity, like really, just some kind of screen notification. Like, I just happened to notice that one of the buttons on the keyboard was a microphone symbol, and I hit it, and the microphone started working again. Any kind of on-screen notification would have been amazing for a mute icon. Ay, 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 ay. Anyway, oh, so today we're gonna be remembering how to play Frostgrave. Um, because I had a good bit of fun playing the um Fantasy Quest last weekend or the weekend before. But to be honest, I kind of wanted more of a like, I have troops and a character, and I think Fantasy Quest works a lot better if you have like, the Fellowship of the Ring versus one main guy and a bunch of like shitheads he paid some money to do stuff, right? So that's kind of what I wanted more of. So instead, we're gonna try out some Frostgrave. I haven't played Frostgrave in a hot minute, but thankfully it is a fairly simple game. And about 20 minutes before this stream, I went ahead and set up a whole character with my book, and we can check out that sheet now. Um, so huzzah! All right, so this is the Osprey website. I'm gonna be honest, it's pretty freaking dope. There are all kinds of cheat sheets and fillable things and all kinds of stuff. Um, this is how we're gonna get through today's remembering how to play Frostgrave game. So I went ahead and I put together a wizard. Specifically, I have made myself a witch. He is the same wizard from last time, same model and stuff. It's just I kind of wanted to make like a druid, right? And the witch is kind of the closest that they have, sort of, to that. So these are the basic stats and his basic equipment. Nothing fancy here, nothing additional added. This is just like the starter stats for my wizard. I'm not going to take an apprentice because I think I kind of want this game to be a little bit smaller, right? A little bit faster. So I'm not going to have an apprentice. I don't know if I'll add one. We'll see. Um, but yeah, so I'm going to use a half-size warband with a half-size starting cost and no apprentice. All right. These are the different spells and kind of like what their casting value is. So this is the number I'm going to need to hit when I roll to cast these spells. So one from each of the aligned trees, and then three from my main tree, and then two from the like they don't explicitly hit you trees. There's a standard starting cost of 8 for your wizard. I then went ahead and I got myself 4 guys, right? A regular team's about 8 guys. I wanted to not have to uh, like keep track of that many guys. So what I did was I went ahead and I decided I would take a half-size team. So this is 200 points worth of guys. So I have a thief, an infantryman, a man of arms, and an archer. The thief is free because I need to get up to that 4-point cost, right? So he's the one I decided to take for free. All right. And that's pretty much all of the setup. Honestly, picking the spells took the longest, so I'm going to have to go back and look those up all the time. Apologies for that now. So, there is also this really handy dandy um, kind of cheat sheet activation thing, which is really, really cool. Um, so this is gonna help us out. This is actually in the back of the rulebook as well, so it's gonna help us out a bunch. Um, so I figure for our learning game, we would kind of just start going through some caves, and I really wanted to use my ooze miniatures because I made them a while ago, and I haven't gotten to use them yet. So I yeah, I thought it would be fun to use them because I haven't really gotten to use them. So okay, all right. So here's our guys. I'm gonna start off in this corner over here. Boop. Um, And we're just going to start over here, and we're just going to do some looting down in these caves today. That's what our plan's going to be. Um, is to get some loot action going on down in these caves. Now, I kind of want one camera to kind of be like the overall board, sort of like my view of what I'm seeing. And I kind of want this other camera to be like the close-up camera. So what I'm probably going to do is actually rotate the board and the terrain on it so I can get like the hang of that. And get like kind of a good spot for that. So, all right, here's my starting guys. Here is my mage again. There he is, little raccoon guy, casting his little spell there. And then a bunch of the kind of like one-off shitheads that we looked at before. So we've got some that are kind of Middle Eastern-y looking. We got some that kind of look like this guy's a thief. This was the guy that was carrying the bag in the last one. He's kind of our looter. I've got this warrior lady here with her big freaking axe, right? So, kind of fun, right? Fun kind of minis. So, that's going to be our starting team there in the corner. Now, the oozes, I think I've shown these off on camera before, but I definitely haven't shown them off since I've been playing Fantasy Quest. The oozes are a lot of fun. These are all, at least these ones. I have other ones in the range, but in my group. But these are all from Dragon Trappers Lodge, and I think they're pretty dope. So I've got kind of some big ones. I've got just some regular oozes here, and then I've got ones that have weapons as well. So yeah, they're pretty fun. They're pretty fun. They'll be coming out as we go. So what I think I want to do is I think I want to go ahead and I want to throw 3 oozes on the board. So I think I'm just going to drop them kind of off in the corners. And we're going to start them off kind of moving randomly um, until they get into line of sight. And then they'll start doing real stuff. Now, the oozes are basically going to just use the rules for the rats. And then the big bear thing, we'll figure out what rules that'll use if one gets spawned. So, how's this going to go? Let's drop some treasure tokens. I'm going to essentially, I don't have super great tokens at the moment. So we're going to just kind of drop them in all the corners. Just use a little base. I need to print out some cool treasure tokens. I don't have any, so yeah, we'll put one over in that corner too. So there we go. So that's going to be just some little bases over in all the corners. All right, and with that, we are pretty much ready to go. Now, how is this going to work? In solo play, you kind of have a slightly modified kind of initiative system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate my hero, and then I'm going to activate all of the monsters, and then I'm going to activate the rest of the troops that haven't activated yet. Now, I say it like that specifically because you can do group activations in this game and basically take guys with you. So it's pretty cool. All right, with that, we are good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to group activate my little guy here. He's got a 6-inch move, and I'm going to grab these two with me. They're just going to go ahead and just move up with me. Oh wait, actually, does he have out of? Hold on, apologies. I might have already screwed up the order. I think he actually has out of game spells. Yeah, I think you can summon a familiar and an animal companion. Apologies. Bonk. There we go. In case you want to see it, we'll go look at the rules down here. For which, okay, familiar. The spellcaster gains something, something, something. It's really tiny text. Gains a familiar that can take the form of any small creature. It's not depicted on the table, unless the player wants to include it on the spellcaster figure. A spellcaster with a familiar gains +2 health. If the spellcasters are reduced to 1 health or less, the familiar is killed. At the start of the next game, the spellcaster reverts to their normal health unless another familiar spell is successfully cast. All right, let's cast our first spell out of the game. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna try to cast that. We need a 10. Let's see what we get. We got an 8. What happens when you fail? I think when you fail, you actually take damage. Let me double check. Ah. Yeah, so when you fail by 1 to 4, you take no damage. So I could goose this number up by spending health points, and then I would basically get the health points back by having the familiar. It does give me a get out of jail free card when it dies, though. So we're actually going to do that. I'm going to goose this up with 2 points, health points, and I'm going to get that familiar, which is going to keep me at the same health number. But you know, so not really gaining or losing anything. I will get some experience because I successfully cast a spell. Um, but I also will gain that it dies instead of me thing. All right, with that, and now we're going to go ahead and we're going to summon ourselves an animal. Animal companion, 10, witch. All right, I want to try to summon a bear. Huzzah! Wow, that's a 1. Okay. Jesus, game. I even have my little bear guy ready. He's even right here. Hi. All right. Well, fine. That's cool. Thanks, game. I'm just gonna eat some damage then. I think that's 2 damage. Wait, is the damage sheet on the cheat sheet? Because it really should be. Yes. Okay. So I take 1 damage. All right. So I'm at 9 before the thing even starts. Ah, good job, me. All right. Well, with that, we're gonna start moving now. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do our first move. We're just trying to get to some treasure. That's all we're trying to do. And then our homies are going to move with us. I believe each of them has 6, but we're going to double check. Oh, our thief has a 7. Okay. Well, we'll give him a nice 7 as well. Okay. He'll just move up there. And our warrior's going to hang back here. All right. There we go. Now it is baddie time. So let's do a random movement roll for our baddies here. So first we're going to do this guy right there. Huzzah! He's going to move that way. I believe 6 inches. I'm pretty sure it's at 6. So he's going to move this way 6 inches. Squish, 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 squish. The guy next to him. Okay, he's going to move that way 6 inches as well. Squish, 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 squish. And last but not least, we got this one down here. And he's also going to move. Let's figure out what direction. So he says, oh, he's just staying where he is. Okay, that's cool. Do they get a double action? Like, do they get to move again? I would assume they would, right? They would get the same number of actions as anybody else. Okay, well, I guess we have to do another one then. So what's his one? That way. All right, well, it would be a 3-inch move, but he doesn't have 3 inches to go. Because second move is half distance. So this guy is going to squish forward and then squish back. And the other guy down the hallway, he's just going to stay where he is. Okay. Whoosh. All right, that's going to lead me over to my next two homies. Oh, I forgot to do the second move with these guys. Oh well, I forgot it at this point. That's fine. Alright, so we're going to move 6 with this guy, and then he's going to move an additional 3. And then 6, and then another 3 as well. Huzzah! There they go. Okay, well, with that, that's the end of turn 1. Nothing exciting, just kind of moving, and then the slimes are just kind of squishing around on their corners. So, I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to roll ourselves a d6. Now, if I roll a 1, nothing's going to happen. If I roll a 2 or 3, I'm going to summon an ooze. Somewhere on the board, we'll figure out where. If I were hit a 4 to 5, I'm going to summon an ooze with a weapon. If I hit a 6, I'm going to summon a big ooze. So, let's see what we get. I rolled a 2, so regular ooze. Alright. I guess let's kind of summon down here, because I think my guys are kind of coming from this way. So I guess I'll just pick corners. 1, 2... Actually, you know what? We'll do the 3 tokens, and then we'll do this as our 4th option. And I will roll a d8. I think I have one over here. Oh, I have a d4. That works. What a weird thing. Okay. I got a d4. We got a 2. Okay, so he's going to spawn over this one. Squish. Okay. So we're going to go over into turn 2 then. Let's see. This homie here, I'm going to group activate this time with the archer and the rogue. And I think I'm going to move up and then cast a spell. So I think we're going to move up our 6. Huzzah! And then I'm going to take the archer with me. And I'm going to take the rogue with me as well. Now, there we go. Whoosh. Alright, now that guy's in line. I've got a spell called Bone Dart, which lets me essentially shoot a dart of bone. Cast on a 12. So before I even bother looking up and reading exactly what it does, let's go ahead and see if it casts. On a 7, it does not. Alright, let's go look at that damage sheet again. Alright, I am now down to 8 life. Good. 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 That's great. Okay. My guy is not a very good spellcaster. You know what? If I was these these mooks here, I would not be feeling very good about following this guy into the dungeon. Considering he has failed every spell he has tried to cast. Actually, wait. Does he have a plus to casting? Is there like a plus to casting thing? I've got +4 to will. Is that plus to casting? Hold on. Am I dumb? Let's probably. Also, I don't remember what the will stat in this game is, so I have to look it up anyway. Come on. Come on. Let that stat be a plus to my casting. Come on. The stat line. What is will? Determination, courage, and ability to resist spells. Okay, that's not a plus to my casting. Okay, cool. So we are 0 for 3 on cast spells. Well, technically 1 for 3, but I had to eat life to do it. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Ripperoonie, I guess. Oh, I actually had 14 life, which actually would put me now. I thought I had 10. That would actually put me on 12 life instead. I apologize. That's my bad. Okay, so I'm actually on 12 life. Let me pull out a marker for that. All right, we'll use this like cobblestone looking D12. All right. Okay, well, that sucks. Well, the archer's gonna try to shoot the guy with the sword. So I guess let's go look at the archer stats. Let's see, Mr. Archer, he has a +2 to his shoot. All right. So now we get to do the really cool opposed rolling thing that made me fall in love with Frostgrave the first time. Once I find another D20, which there has to be one in here. Maybe. Dice for silver bayonet. I've got dice for everything except for the thing I need. Okay, hold on. Let me find another D20. 1 second. Nope. That's a D10. Okay, we're gonna switch my guy's life over to these really, really, really delightfully sparkly, gay D10s because I like them and they're pretty and they're delightful. So he's gonna have 2 of those instead. All right, pose rolls. My guy's roll is gonna be the purple and gold. The bad guys are going to be the blocky one. All right, 15 versus 15. Okay. Well, if there's ties, what happens in Frostgrave? Motherfucker, all the one-offs are happening. I just want to learn how to play again. What happens if there's ties? Shooting. Determine by comparing the shooter's rolls to the target. Or the attack or scores are equal, the attack misses. Okay, cool. So I shot the ground. Great. Great. Man, my guys are really off to a really banging badass start, aren't they? They're kicking ass. All right. Okay. Okay. Well, I guess there's nothing else for my rogue to do but move. So he's gonna move this way and try to get close to this token over here and that slime. Ahoy! Frostgrave, awesome. I busted out my Stargrave stuff last night, looking at Quarantine 37. It's going through old supplies to make some terrain. Nice! That's really fun. Quarantine 37 is really good. The scenarios in there are like, some of them are kind of wacky, but they're really fun. Um, and I kind of like how it goes from like zombies to like bugs in the scenarios. Also, just the rules they add for those are really, really good. So, yeah. Stargrave is wonderful. Quarantine 37 is great. 1437? No, there she is. Yeah, fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. Um, so many cool like pieces of art too. Um, yeah. So like you kind of go from fighting bugs to, or from fighting zombies to fighting bugs. It's pretty neat. It's a cool setup, and is a nice base for rules for making your own kind of stories too. So is really good. Okay, let's see what we got. Uh, so that's those guys, which now means enemies get to go. So I guess we will go ahead and pick the closest enemy, which in this case is going to be this guy, and he's going to move and fight. So he's going to attack our thief here, and he's going to try to fight the thief. So again, we're going to do that roll. This guy's rules are just a giant rat, but I'm going to give him plus one to attack for the weapon for damage. So 15 versus 13, so it goes through. We're going to go ahead and we're going to give him plus one to damage, which is going to make this a 16 versus the thief's 10 armor, means 6 points of damage go through. Am I doing it that right? Because that seems, oof, ouchie, ouchie. Hold on, let me double check that I'm doing that right. Because that seems like that's going to hurt. Right. Both make a combat roll. Roll a die and add the figure's fight stat and any other relevant modifiers. Determine the winner by comparing combat rolls. Highest wins. Add any damage modifiers to the winner's combat roll. Subtract the opponent's armor from the total. Apply any damage modifiers, okay, such as times. If the total is greater than 0, subtract that many points from the loser's health. Oh. Oh. Oh, ho, 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 my poor thief's butthole. Okay, 6 damage going into the thief. I think he has 10 life by default. Ouchie, 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 he does. Alright, that's gonna put him on 4. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna plop a 4 dice next to him. Man, that ooze just came out of nowhere and fucked him up. Unfortunately for him, this ooze is gonna do the same thing. It's gonna move and fight. Um, so round 2, but now he's going to get the plus 1 because he's got a buddy in combat. All right, my guy rolled a 16 versus 9 with the plus 1, doesn't make a difference, so that goes away. My guy's hitting for 16. He has a hand weapon, which is no plus or minuses, it just is. So that's 16 going into the target. How much armor does he have? I'm just using the giant rat ones. All right, he has 6 armor, which means that's 10 damage. The ooze only has 1 life, thankfully, so that ooze is kaput. Bleh. Yay, my guys did something! Instead of just getting their asses kicked. Speaking of getting their asses kicked, this ooze is going to try to double move to try to get up into the fight, get up into the fun, which he's going to be just slightly shy of. Good news is that largely leaves the other things less defended, so that's probably good. Alright, now we still have our ooze buddy over in this corner here. Right there. There he is, right there. Bonky. Bonk, bonk, bonk. See what he does? He moves this way with his first move. Okay. And then his second move, he moves that way. Okay. Alright, so that's over to my last group of soldiers then. Whoosh, there they are right there. And they're just going to try to get over here to get over to these other tokens. So this guy is going to end up moving his 9. She's going to get him pretty damn close, to be honest, to this token over here. And then the big fighter, she is also going to do the same, but she's a little bit further behind. She's gonna go over there. Okay. So they're closing in. I think I'll probably have him start going for some of the treasure, and then maybe have her go kill the slime, or vice versa. All right, over into turn 3 then. Let's roll our dice and see if we spawn another baddie. I rolled a 3, so we're going to spawn another guy. And he's going to spawn on one of the treasure tokens or this door. This door is going to be a 4. He's going to spawn on. Is that like trans? Oh, I guess it's not trans pride. I guess it's like bisexual pride dice. the There's a little hobby shop in Mililani called Dragon's Lair, and they have this big um like vat of dice. And I've bought, like, I swear, like all of the pride dice out of it. All right, a 2. Well, that means he's gonna spawn right here in this corner, which is unfortunate for these guys. They just had another ooze come up out of the ground. All right. Well, back to this corner over here. This is kind of the overall state as she stands right now. Emma, you seem to be having a little bit of trouble. A little blurry. Why are you a little blurry? Oh, I bet you. There we go. There we go. I figured it out. She needed more light. Okay. So we're gonna go over in this kind of area, right? So I'm gonna activate my boss again. Um, and he is, you know what, I'm gonna try. I could try to bone dart one of these guys, or I could try to curse one of them. So I think we're gonna try to curse the one with the sword. I think that makes the most sense. Now I think I cast curse on an 8, and I think what it does is it reduces all their rolls by 2, which is pretty dope. Um, okay. Cool, cool, cool. Yep, that's what it does. It adds a -2 to all the dice. Okay, so let's roll. I need an 8. I rolled a 9. All right. So this guy here with the sword has been cursed, so he's going to take -2. And now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and, to be honest, I really don't want to go too deep in. So I think I'm just going to stay where I am, to be honest. Yeah, I think he's just going to stay there. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that one, but it should be better now. Okay, and with that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to move our archer, and he is going to try to shoot the other slime there right in the back of the head. And then we're going to look at some opposed rolls. 2 versus a 13. Wait, do they get an opposed roll when it's ranged, or do they not? Let's see. All right, combat, shooting. The shooter checks line of sight, shooting roll, and add the target shoot task. Target makes a combat roll and adds its fight stat. Okay, all right, it doesn't matter. Yeah, they do. We do opposing rolls for shooting too. Curses enemy, eat shit. Yeah, basically. It's not really going to help with that guy, but it might help with the rogue. So the rogue's going to try to fight. So, huzzah! On a 1, even with a -2, it doesn't make a difference. Because that would make this 7, and this guy I think has like +2 to his fight. So, shit. Alright, so that thing goes through on a 9. My guy he's going to have a +1 to damage, which is going to make it 10. My guy does have 10 armor. So thankfully, no damage is going to go through. Like, it's a glancing blow, essentially. But man, that sucks. Okay. Well, this homie's gonna fight again. Um, Wait, can you double fight in this game, or is it a single fight game? Hold on, let me double check. Does one of your actions always have to be a move? Yes. Okay, so you can move and then do something else. Um, okay, okay. Well, I don't want to give this guy an attack of opportunity. Um, because when you move out of combat, I'm pretty sure you give them an attack of opportunity on you, which is basically an attack, but you don't really fight back. Um, so I don't really want to do that. So I think I'll just end his turn there. Yeah, I think that's probably the best action. All right, now it's ooze time. Well, everybody's favorite infinite strength sword ooze there, who has 1 life, by the way, is going to attack the rogue again. On a 9, which becomes a 10, that then gets reduced down. Or no, it's a 9. Okay, it's a 9. I don't add the damage in yet until it's successful. So this is a 9, which becomes a 7 because of the curse, which means my guy beats it. What is his plus? I think his plus is like a +2 fight. Because that was going to make a difference. It's going to make a gigantic... Alright, he has a +1 fight. Which is going to make this a 9. Okay, what is the armor on this thing? Is it 10, like all humans? No, it is 6. Okay. So, he's going to have 9. That is going to go into 6 armor and become 3. That means 3 points of damage go in and kill this sucker with the sword, finally. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, smelling blood, this ooze is like, hey, buddy, what's up? Yeah, so that's unfortunate for him. So he's going to attack in, and we're rolling a 1 versus a 3. My guy's going to win, but it's not going to make a difference because he's going to become 4, which is still under the ooze's armor. And you know what? He's going to push it back. Get out of here. He's going to push the ooze back, because when you win the combat, you can choose to push them back an inch. Okay, to the other side of the board. There we go. So we got 2 oozes over here. We're going to start with this one, who is going to attack our man-at-arms. He's going to move and then attack. 8 versus 10. The man-at-arms, I believe, has +3, but let me double check. Man-at-arms does have +3. He is a badass, apparently. So that means he is going to win that fight, because this is going to become 11. Going into 6 damage is 5 damage. This thing is dead. Man, he might not even need the lady with the giant axe coming up behind him. So there is one more ooze right there. He's going to do the same mistake, because he's an ooze and he probably doesn't actually have a brain. He's probably not even really sentient. Okay, 16 versus 4. That ooze is also super dead. Wow, man, the man-at-arms is kicking ass. Okay, cool. Yeah, go man-at-arms. All right, well now the man-at-arms gets to do some more stuff. So he's going to go ahead and he's going to move over to that treasure token down there. And he's going to try to pick it up. How does picking up treasure work? I don't remember. I don't remember. Hold on! To the rulebook! We will look up how picking up treasure works. Initiative, activations, movement to the table, off the table, swimming, falling, combat, shooting, spell casting, resisting, canceling spells, using potions. Wait, How do I... Where's the thing about picking up treasure? Instructions. Rough ground. Stat rolls. Okay. Uh, to the index, I guess. We go. Let's see. Initiative. Destruction, falling, swimming, shooting, damage, spellcasting. Collecting treasure. 68. So close to being nice. Collecting treasure. Okay. Um, once a treasure token is picked up. Okay, it doesn't need to do anything. So in Stargrave, lots of times you need to do something to pick the treasure up, like hack into it or do like a strength roll or something to pick it up, if I remember right. So that's kind of what I was thinking. So this guy's got now going to get a -1 to his fight, and his movement's going to be halved. However, in the solo play rules for Frostgrave, they tell you not to have the movement because the having the movement intent is really to give the enemy time to uh, get to your guy with the treasure, right? So in solo play or co-op, they tell you not to have the movement, but I'm still going to do the -1 fight. Okay, so he's got this treasure now. He's got this generic base. I really got to get some treasure tokens. Yeah, and then she's going to do the same thing. She's going to move down here and she's going to pick that treasure up as well. So, go team. All right. There we go. State of the board. We've got one slime left. Everyone on the team is up and running, which is pretty dope. We have 2 of the 3 treasures picked up. Also pretty good. One of the guys is very heavily damaged. The thief is very heavily damaged. So. All right, let's roll and see what we spawn. I rolled a 5, which means I'm going to spawn a guy with a weapon. Oh, and I should see if I spawn an enemy every time I pick up a treasure token. So let's do the first time. I would have spawned a 4, which means I would have spawned another guy with a weapon. And then I would have spawned a 1, so I would have spawned nothing. Okay. So let's figure out where we're going to put them. I kind of don't want to put them on the treasure tokens now because we picked some up, so I don't think they should count for that. So I think what we'll do is we'll spawn on one of the 2 doors because there's 2 doors. You just make a data check or a lockpick in Frostgrave, Stargrave. Solely rules and it felt like it was cheating a bit, but I also was playing against myself, so that's fair. Yeah. When you have another team, it would make sense to half your movement, but I think it's just gonna add time. I mean, screw it, we can do it. We can have the movement, it doesn't matter. We'll try it out. All right, this is all about learning and seeing how it works for solo, to be honest. Um, so yeah, so like setting this up even, right, it's showing me a couple of things. It's showing me I want treasure tokens and I want spawn location tokens. Where like specific spots that the enemy's going to spawn on the board. I think that would be really handy. So I will probably make both of those before I play next time. Yeah, I also want some kind of spell counter. Because so far my guy has cast 2 spells. In this case, I guess I'll use this dice. And I'm going to get experience at the end for the spells. So I need to make sure that I keep track of that. So he successfully cast 2 spells. All right, so let's spawn the armor guys. One of the 2 doors. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the one over here by my belly. It's not on camera. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got a 3. Okay. There we go. All right, they both pour in from that door. Well, that's the door we're going to go to escape. So we're going to start doing that, to be honest. Boop. So I'm going to take my... Yeah, I always forget it too. That's why I just remembered now and was like, I need to set a dice up for that, right? So like, but that's kind of the value of these learning games, right? It when you play so many different kind of little indie games, it's very easy to be like, oh shit, I haven't played that in a year, right? And it's not because you don't like the game or you're not a fan of it or something. It's just because you're playing other stuff and doing other stuff, and it just kind of happens. So coming back to like little kind of like let's remember how to play games is super important for that. And Yeah, it's also like it also kind of shows you the bits that you need to remember to have next time. And I think that's really useful. But honestly, remembering to have those bits is kind of some of the excitement of playing a game to me, right? Like, oh, I need a treasure token. I need to go figure out how to make some now, right? Like that's kind of fun to me. All right, so 6 inches move. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna try to enchant a weapon because my guy is an enchanter. That's his secondary. That's like the aligned school is enchanting. So yeah, so we're gonna try to enchant that guy's bow. Um, yeah, let's see if we do it. So that's, or I could curse this guy instead. That's a lower target roll. Yeah, let's curse this one. All right, we're gonna curse again. Like, hey, fat ass. On a 7, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna eat a point of life damage for that, so it goes off. There we go. All right, so this guy is now cursed. Um, right? Or do we do a will roll for them? Hmm. Let me double check. The enemy might actually get a will roll for when you cast on them. No, I think this guy has like a negative will. I think rats do, but I think it's worth checking. So, creating a wizard, stat line, shooting spells, arms and armor. Rolling, multiple combats. We did that earlier. Shooting into combat. We haven't had to do that yet. Spellcasting. Um, okay. Success and failure. Greater than by the blah 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 blah. If the roll is less than the casting number, the spell fails and the action is lost. Further, the spellcaster may suffer damage. Okay. Powering resisting spells. Effective some spells may resist with a will roll. If a will roll is allowed, the target spell is permitted. Okay, okay. Guy. Okay, so they don't get to resist everything. It's only when um the spell specifically says it. So curse specifically says it, but curse specifically says that you check uh after your activation. So basically, you always get hit with one round of it. Okay, so he's going to take -2. And now that he's doing that, my guy's going to start moving his ass to the exit, which is going to put him right in the enemy's way eventually. But it's okay for now. Okay, so this guy's cursed. I think we'll try to shoot him with the bow guy first, because at least that way he's not going to get into any troubles. Well, my guy rolled a 2. This guy's a really shitty archer. Um, uh, he actually, because of where that ooze is, I don't think he actually can go by without forcing combat. Huh, okay, so he actually can't get by that ooze. The ooze is blocking the way. That sucks. Well, in that case, this guy's gonna move into combat and he's gonna fight. Hold on. Am I messing this up? The joy of learning games, right? I joke, but learning games are actually super important and very good for this kind of thing. Um, so what I think I might be screwing up here is I think you might automatically go into fight when you move within range. I think it might automatically start like a fight action. Um, moving into combat. Anytime a friend moves into the combat with an enemy figure, considered to be in combat, figures in combat do not automatically fight. Okay, good, good. Okay, that's what we know. So really, what I should have done is I should have moved this guy into combat, and I'm going to say I did that. And then this guy moves in and fights. Now he's going to get a +1 because that guy's in combat with him. So he's going to have a +2 to this fight. The enemy's going to have a -9. He rolled a 20. So yeah, it doesn't matter either way. This thing's fucking dead. Uh, and then with that, he's going to move up with the boss. Huzzah. Wow, the rogue went from like really being terrible to like kicking ass. Good job, Mr. Rogue. Okay, we do have two shield guys here that are going to try to block. However, they can't see anybody yet, so they're going to random move. This one's going to move back, and his second random move can't go anywhere. The other guy going to go this way. Now he can see somebody, and he will try to go towards them, which will be my boss, and he will be just out of combat with my boss. There we go. Yeah, it locks into melee. I thought it might auto trigger a fight, so I thought you might be able to move into melee, auto fight, and then fight again. But no, it does not automatically fight. You move into combat, locks into melee, then you fight. So, yeah, that makes sense. That's how I was playing it. So I'm happy that's how it works. Okay, cool. So that's gonna be the end of. Oh wait, no, these guys down here get to move still. Yeah, these guys with the treasure get to move. So they're, if we're going to have their movement, that means they're going to get 3 inches for their first move, and then 1.5 inches rounded up for their second. So it's going to be 5 inches of total move. So there she goes, hauling ass. And he too will haul ass. For as haul ass as they can with their treasure tokens. So. Okay. Sweet. Let's see if we spawn another baddie. On a 3, we do. Let's go ahead and spawn it at one of the two doors. 1, 2 is down here, and this corner down here, and the other one is where my guys are trying to escape. All right, we rolled a 1. Okay. Squish. Unfortunately, because it's worth showing off, this ooze here now can now see this archer. And he is out of group activation range with my boss now. So that archer might be being left to die, which is unfortunate for him. In other news, let's go ahead and bone dart this sucker. So I'm going to go ahead and roll bone dart. I rolled a 10. Is bone dart a 10 or a 12? Bone dart is a 12. You know what? I want another spell to go off. So I'm going to get 2 points of life, and I'm going to turn that into a 12, and I'm going to bone dart this guy. And then I can go look up what bone dart does, because then I want to actually cast something. Three and 4. There we go. Okay. What does bone dart do? It's a necromancer spell. Let's go see. Necromancer, Bone Dart, Spell Sharp, Shard of Bone. Spellcaster makes a 5+5 shooting attack and it gets any figure within line of sight. 12 inches. Does not count as a magical attack. Okay. +5 shooting attack. Yeah, fancy. Let's see if we can shoot a bone through this guy. Alright. Roll some dice. I rolled an 11, he rolled a 3, so that becomes a 16. With his armor of 6, that means 10 points of damage are going into him. Shoot right through him with a chunk of bone. Giggity. And then with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my first move, which is going to get me pretty close to the door, but I'm going to hang back a little bit so that the rogue can go first, because he's more expendable than I am. And then the rogue is also going to move up. Can he get him within combat? No, just barely. Alright, he can't get within combat for his first action. Oh shit, I forgot to have the rogue grab the other treasure. Oh, oh. So focused on killing, I forgot the treasures. Okay, well, he's just gonna move up in combat to lock this guy into combat. Okay, and on that, the enemies are gonna get to go. Well, this ooze is in combat, so he's gonna go first. He rolled a 9. My guy rolled an 11. He has a +1 fight. Is going to make that a 12. That means we're looking at 6 damage going in because this guy has 6 armor, so he is dead. Okay. There's our ooze buddy. Now the real question is, which one is he closer to? It looks like he's closer to the archer. So he is going to move up 6 inches and he's going to fight the archer. 14 versus 2. So, yep. That's going to be 4 points going through because my guy has 10 armor. Which is going to put him on 6 life. Okay. Well, I now get to fight back. Do we abandon that treasure and we abandon the archer? But we've done such a good job clearing out the baddies. Alright. Archer's going to fight him. Screw it. He's got to try. So, are you playing Perilous Dark? Yeah, more or less. I honestly was just like, let's throw some loot on the table and some tokens and some monsters. And kind of just using the Perilous Dark rules or what I remember of them. I will say the Perilous Dark rules are totally free up on the Osprey website if you want a copy of them. I also just have the book in my room, but I was reading through it the other night. I'm kind of going off memory because that book's upstairs and I don't feel like pulling the rules up, so that's why I'm doing the like slightly different activation order, where it's like my character and anyone he groups activates with, and then the monsters, and then the rest of the soldiers. So I remember right, that's how it works in Perilous Dark, and I think it's working pretty good. So, all right, this guy's gonna fight in. He's got a +1 to his fight. He rolled a 20. Okay, cool. So that ooze is dead. Good job, Archer. You finally killed something. It wasn't with your bow, though. But you finally still killed something. Good job. All right, he's gonna move over here. He doesn't have an activation to pick that up, so he's just gonna kind of chill. All right, and then these two homies over here, they are going to get rolling. They're gonna move their 5 inches again. Start trying to get out. So as long as we don't have more enemies spawn on us, this should be a nice, easy escape. Okay, um, let's see if we get more enemies to spawn. And we'll see if one spawns when the guy picks the other token up. We rolled a 6. Wow, that is super freaking thematic because that is the big monster bear. Um, so let's figure out where the big monster bear goes. Does he spawn over here on a 1 or 2 where everyone's trying to escape from? Or does he spawn back at the start and hunt down the poor freaking archer? Oh, he spawns where everyone is trying to escape from. That is perfect timing. That is wonderfully thematic. Giant monster bear comes through the door to kill everyone as they try to escape. But thankfully, everyone's going in that direction, so pretty dope. Okay, well, over to me. What rules are we going to use for the monster bear? Ah, I was using giant rat for for the for the other guy. Um, so yeah, screw it. Let's use the bear stats. These hurt. That's gonna be fun. This is a fight +4 this thing has. Um, the bear, the witch summons. I tried to summon a bear. I even had my cool little bear mini and everything. But I failed because I rolled a 1 when I was trying to summon my freaking bear. Yeah, we're gonna use just the regular bear stats for the monster bear. So this is gonna suck, but it should make a nice ending. Uh okay. Well, my guy is going to go. Now, the real question is, do I dart the bear to try to do some damage to it, or do I curse the bear? And I think I'm gonna be like, fuck you, bear. On a 7, I'm not gonna be like, fuck you, bear, but I'm gonna eat a point of health so I can be like, fuck you, bear. So it's gonna be an 8, and the bear is now cursed. It does bring me up to 5 completed spells at least, which is pretty dope. So that's pretty good. So Mr. Bear is now cursed. I do think my spellcaster is gonna back up. Um, I do it a lot and it kicks ass. Yeah, I tried and I rolled the 1. So fuck you, Bear. Now my guy's gonna back up. That's a bad time. And hey, look, Mr. Rogue, who I forgot to have grab the loot. He's useless now, so fuck it. Go fight the bear, dude. Go fight the bear. Shitty rogue. Um, well, the shitty rogue is now going to try to fight the bear, I guess. On a 1, he's definitely not fighting the bear. The bear rolled a 6, which is going to become a +4, which becomes a +2, which becomes a +8. And then he has a rule called Strong, which I'm not familiar with, and we need to look up. Uh, I don't know what Strong does. Let's see. This creature does +2 damage. Okay. He has +4 fight and +2 damage. Yeah, dagger versus bear. Okay, so all right, let's go back again. So we're looking at 6 +4 +2 makes that 12 -2 because he's cursed makes it exactly 10, which is the armor the rogue has. Thankfully. Okay. So the rogue somehow manages to not be murdered by the bear on turn one. Anyway, it's the bear's turn now. So the bear's gonna attack the rogue. Okay, he rolled a 9. My rogue rolled a 15. All right, that's good. That's good. Okay, so it's going to be 15 plus 1 becomes 16. The bear's armor is probably super fucking high. He has an armor of 12, so it's actually going to be 4 points of damage going into the bear. Nice. Monster bear takes 4 points of damage. How much life does Monster bear have? Let me see. Monster bear is 14. All right. So we'll actually go ahead and we'll just put 2 dice on him so we know that he has 10 life left. So I don't have to worry about counting down. There we go. So he's got Monster bear has 10 life left. And because my rogue won, we're gonna. Now the rogue's gonna stay in combat with the monster bear. I'd like to knock the monster bear back, but I want the +1. Um, yeah, I want the +1 because I think my infantryman's about to charge in. Speaking of which, hi. My spellcaster's just gonna hang back and send all the mooks in. Oh wait, no, she has the armor. She has the loot. Shit, she's not gonna be able to make it. Okay. Well, she's gonna move up and get into combat, but she's not gonna be able to fight this turn. That's what she's gonna do. Okay, and then this guy, he's gonna move up. Man at Arms is the best fighter. He really would do the best job against the bear. Right, and then down here in this corner, we have our homie here. He's going to go ahead. He's going to pick that token up. Let's see if we spawn another enemy. We do. All right, we spawn a regular troop, and then we're going to spawn it either on 1 or 2 at the door everybody's at, or 3 or 4 at the door in the back. Okay, we're going to spawn it at the door in the back. Let me grab another. Oops. Okay. And now this guy is going to go ahead and do his move. With his token. All right, and that is going to be the end of that turn. Let's go ahead and spawn ourselves a new enemy at the end of the turn. We spawned a force. We need another guy with a weapon. I got this cool one with a spear and an axe. It's pretty darn cool. All right, where does he spawn? Spawns at a 3. Thankfully back here as well. So I guess now we're like conceptually, I guess we're being chased out of this cave by oozes at this point. Yeah. Okay, over to the next turn. Um, Unfortunately, my boss is out of group activation range. Oh no, he can group activate this guy. All right. Yeah, he's out of group activation range. Yeah, he can just barely get her. Right? And now he's just shy. All right, group activation range. We're gonna group activate with that guy. Um, well, I'm gonna try to curse the. Oh, we didn't see if the bear shrugged off the curse. Let's see if he did. Otherwise, there's no point to curse him again. Um. All right, he has a 0 will. Let me go look up curse real quick. Uh. Okay. All right, so he needs to roll a 12. No, he needs to roll an 8 minus 2. So let's see if the bear cancels it. He does not. All right, he's still cursed. Um, which means I could try to bone dart him, but there's a lot of guys in melee now, and the bone dart doesn't count as a ranged. Doesn't count as a magical ranged. It counts as a regular ranged, which means I could potentially shoot one of my own people with a bone dart. So I don't really want to do that. So what other spells do I have? Ooh, what is Plague of Insects? What is that? What is that? That's from the Summoner. Let's go find out. Summoner. Plague of Insects. Target figure is attacked by a cloud of stinging insects that irritate and distract. The cloud of insects is 1 inch radius centered on and moving around the target figure. It affects all figures, including the target. While being pestered by the insects, the target has -4 fight and -4 shoot, and -2 to casting values. Large creatures are immune to this spell. Okay, well, my bear is a large creature, so... okay, you know what? Screw it. We're just going to try to enchant the weapon. We're going to try to enchant the weapon of the lady with the axe. So this is going to be a 10. Rolled a 16. All right, rolled another one. Hell yeah. Bring me up to 6 rolled spells, so that's pretty cool. So her weapon is now enchanted. I don't remember what that does. I think it adds +1 damage to it. Uh, okay, yeah, +1. All right, cool. Uh, so yeah, roll enchant her big axe. So +1 damage. Or +1 fight. Sorry. And then this guy here is gonna move up. Now unfortunately he can't really get into combat right away, so he's gonna have to go the long way. And we're gonna try to gang up on the bear as we fight our way out. So now it's bear time again. The bear is gonna fight. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, he's fighting the rogue. The rogue rolled a 7. The bear rolled a 14, which becomes an 18, which becomes this because of the plus fight on the bear. Plus, then that becomes a 16 because of the curse. Oof. Okay. Um, my guy rolled a 7. Well, because the bear's strong, it also becomes another +2 to his roll, so that is 18, which is 8 damage over my rogue's armor. So the bear completely mauls the rogue. He is like in little chunks everywhere. Uh, yeah, like annihilation style. Like he doesn't have a face anymore. Uh, okay. Well, thankfully the bear can't do anything else. uh, yeah. Finished my Doom unit I was telling you about last time. They look pretty cool. Love to show you them. I'm going to send you an email to your channel. Yeah, it's just name of the channel at gmail.com. And yeah, I would love to see them. Yeah, or hit me with like an Instagram link or something. That would work too. Yeah, Insect Plague sucks. Insect Plague, because it would be good if it was like an archer or something. I didn't read it very well when I chose it. But it also kind of seems like a druidy spell, so that's also kind of the reason I chose it, but, you know. Okay, the rest of the oozes get to go now, which is big unfortunate for Mr. Archer down here, because he's about to get slammed by oozes. Ooze number 1 moves up. Ooze number 2 is also going to move up, but ooze number 1 is going to attack first. Ugh, poopy. Let's see. Where did my dice go? There's one, there's one. Alright, ooze number 1, attack into the archer. The ooze rolled a 1, my archer rolled a 19. Just to prove it. There you go. And yeah, I would love to see your doomed dudes. That would be awesome. The doomed is great. Super, super cool. Alright, so this thing is just dead. The next one's going to do the same thing. Man, this guy shouldn't be an archer. He should be like some kind of melee fighter, to be honest. Let's see. 18 versus 8. Holy shit, the archer has stabbed more things to death than anyone else. Okay. And on that note, the archer's going to move up. The archer's looking at 5 inches of movement. And these guys here, they're going to get fighting the monster bear. So infantryman's going to fight the monster bear with her big axe. That didn't land on the table. Okay, we're looking at 16 versus 12. I think the infantryman has a +2 to their fight. Let me go double check. Oh, they have a +3. Okay. And I need to look up what a two-handed weapon does, because I think it has something special. As a +2 damage modifier. Okay. Okay, so she's got a +3 on this, which makes it a 19. He gets a +4 on this, which makes it 16 minus 2. So he still wins. So this becomes 19, which becomes 21. The bear has 14, or was it 12 armor? She might have just done a lot of freaking damage. Yeah, 12 armor. So 21 minus 12 is 9 points of damage to the bear. Holy shit, good job, infantry lady. I know I gave you the, like, Wonder Woman helmet for a reason. Okay, very cool. Well, that's useful. She, I guess, must have really liked the rogue. Um, okay, cool. So, going into next turn, let's see if we spawn another guy. We do. Where does he spawn at? He spawns here, unfortunately. My guys have waded through some fucking slimes, man. I'm like legitimately almost running out of slime miniatures. Because I have like a pile. I'm just replacing them. Okay. Well, the only guy that's in group activation range is this guy. So we're going to group activate. We're going to move up. Oh, we had to see if the bear shrugged off the curse. Alright, so we're looking at a 10 minus 2, so bear needs to make a 12. Bear makes a 20. He is no longer cursed. Okay. Well, anyway, let's curse the bear again. Motherfucking bear. Get cursed, bitch. Alright, we need an 8. Roll the 19. That bear is cursed again. Alright. And this bear, I'm sure, is probably tired of getting cursed out. So this guy still gets to do something. So he's going to attack. He's going to get a +1 here and a +3. So he's going to be +4. He rolled a 10, which is going to make that +4. The bear rolled a 7, which is going to be 11. -2 because of the curse makes that a 9. So he wins. That is +2 damage going in, which is the end of the bear. Bleh. They did it. They survived their, well, most of them survived their fight at the end, so that's good. That's good. Yeah, he really is. He deserves to call HR on that one, man. He was just getting cursed at constantly and then totally got abused. He only wanted to eat a little rogue. It was fine. Alright, well, last enemy to activate is going to be this guy here. So he's just going to move in and attack the man-at-arms. So we're looking at a 10 versus a 2. He doesn't have any pluses or anything, so it's just going to be 10, which is what his armor is anyway. So, okay. Cool. So, lady, moving up. Let's finish up these oozes and get off this goddamn board. 16 versus 13. She has a +3 fight, which is going to make it 16 versus 16. So she doesn't win. Okay, last but not least, we've got our archer coming up. Okay, and then I'm not really going to have him shoot into the ooze. There's no reason for that. So, okay, let's see if we get another enemy. We do. We got a sword one. Where does it spawn? It spawns on crooked dice. Okay, it spawns back there. Every crooked time it was 3 anyway, so. This guy's not going to die or anything, so I'm just going to put him on the board. He's not going to make it in time. Because he's far enough away that he has to random roll stuff, so. Okay, over to the next turn. Well, my boss is going to group activate with both the fighters. We have the man-at-arm fight first. 14 versus 10 becomes 17 versus 10, which is a dead ooze. And you know what? Just so I can get points for it, I'm going to try to enchant spell. We'll try to enchant his sword. On 11, his sword gets enchanted, bringing me to 7 cast spells. Alright, and then all my guys just get off the board out the door. So yeah, so that brings us to our first game of Frostgrave. A nice little remembering game, nice and thematic with the monster showing up at the end there. I liked that. That was cool. Super, super cool. So, let's look at what happens at the end. Now, also that piece of bear art is amazing, by the way. Let's see. At the end, what happens? Ending the game, page 71. Injury and death. Okay. So, this thief is technically a free model. So for the free models, you don't roll. I love your spinning table. Thank you. Yeah, it's super cool. I made it on the channel a while ago. It actually has like a metal plate as well, so you can actually magnetize terrain to it. This stuff's not magnetized yet, but I probably will magnetize it as well. But yeah, it's really fun. And it's cool. So I have a video about how I made it. I just got a wild hair and was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a spinning table one day, and I just put it together. I've had this for a while now. I've been using this to play for, man, a while. All right, so you usually don't roll for the guys that are free. However, I like the idea that maybe as these mooks die, they fall out of the pool of guys I can take with me. So, kind of like grinder style, but without grinding up your miniatures, because that's fucking mental. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll as if this guy, we're going to roll basically to see if he died, right? So let's see. On a 19, he's perfectly fine. All right, so he survived getting his face ripped off by the monster bear. Good job, buddy. Let's see. We didn't get any permanent injuries. We didn't get anything like that. We don't have any after action spells. Experience represents the amount of damage, amount of experience learned during the adventure. Okay, let's figure out what we got. Oh, I actually get damage for failed attempts. Okay, so that would have been 2 of those. So that would have been 10. Okay, for each one successfully. So that would have been another 7, which would make it 80. For each game, there was a participates, makes it 120. All right, we got off with 3 treasure tokens, which is another 120, which makes that 240. And then we're going to get 5 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're going to get 55 there. So it's going to bring us to 295. Okay. It says there's like maximums and stuff, but I'm not going to worry about that. So let's see. Improving known spells. Okay, I have 295 experience. How do I know when I level? Um, let's see. Remember when leveling up a wizard, the wizard may improve one of the following stats up to a maximum shown in brackets. Okay, that's. How do I know where the break point is for experience? All right, we'll do treasure next. I need to figure out. Where that comes from. Okay, that doesn't help me. Let's go look at the index again, I guess. Ending the game. Level. Spirits is 82. I think that was what I was just at, though. Oh, okay. No, hold on, wait, that's not. Um, Total for every full 100 points of experience may now be converted into a level. Okay, all right. So it does say it in there. It's just kind of hidden, to be honest. All right, so we're gonna get 2 levels for our guy. So, all right, we're gonna get 2 levels. I'm gonna have 95 leftover experience. So we're gonna be 95. We're gonna be level 2. Um, okay. What are we gonna get for that? Let's see. We can improve a stat. Or we can make a spell easier to cast. Let's see. Wizard may only improve 1 known spell after each game. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. And I like the familiar. I want the animal companion. We're gonna do animal companion. We're gonna drop that to 9, and then we're gonna increase our life up to 15. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, that's gonna be our level 2 wizard all done. All right, now we also roll on the treasure tokens and see what we got. Okay, so now I need to roll. We got 3 things, so we roll a 11, which is a magic item. We roll a 15, which is 20 pieces in a grimoire, and we roll a 12. Okay. So that's going to give us 40 gold, 40 GC, and then we have a grimoire. I'll look up what that is in a minute. And we have a magic item, and we have. Oh, we actually have 2 magic items. We have 2 magic items. Cool. So we can look up what those are. All right. How do we deal with magic items? We didn't get any potions. Grimoires. Grimoires are books of magic. They may be actual books, piles of spells, stone tablets, or whatever. A wizard never willingly part with a grimoire and can dispel they do not know. If a wizard obtains a grimoire, a spell they already know, they may sell it for 200 GC. Okay, so now we need to roll twice on the grimoire table and see what we get. Okay, I rolled a 14, and then the second one is going to be 14 and 13, which is petrify. Okay, so that's going to be petrify. So I can't learn that this turn or this game because I use my leveling up points other ways. You need to learn a spell to level up. And then we have 2 magic items. So let's see what we get. We got a 10, which is a magic crossbow, and an 11, which is a magic dagger. I'm going to give myself the magic dagger. Which is going to be +1, 5. Okay, and then we have a magic crossbow, but we don't have anyone that uses that, so we'll just go ahead and we'll throw it in there as well. Okay. And we'll ditch these 2. Here. Punk. Alright, and after our first game, which was, to be honest, extremely successful, there is where our character sits. So we got some good stuff. That's pretty cool. Alright. Well, man, I like Frostgrave. It's a really fun game. It really, really, really is. I cannot sing its praises. You know, I do easier casting. Yeah, yeah. That's why I dropped one of the spells. I think it'll make it better, to be honest. So, but yeah, super, super fun stuff. Yeah. Well, I think I need to take a break because I have been talking and going for a while. And my breakfast so far and everything I've eaten today has been this 1 can of zero sugar Mountain Dew and about 3 vanilla wafers. So I think I need to probably find some food. So I'm gonna do that. But yeah, definitely super fun. Really had a good time with that. Next week I don't know what we'll get up to. Maybe we'll play some more. Maybe we'll do some kind of hobby thing. But we'll do something for sure. But I'm out of here. Thank you guys for watching. I'm glad you enjoyed. Send me pictures of your doomed stuff, either Instagram or not. And I hope you have a good one. And